I hope you're doing great. I just wanted to touch base with you this morning and say thank you so much for helping me with my book, Climbing the Vine of My Soul. Doing great, and I really appreciate the support. If you read the book and you haven't reviewed it, please get on Amazon and review it for me. I could definitely use the help. I also wanted to help a friend of mine named Billy Wyrick. He's a really good guy. He's been through a lot, broke his neck a couple years ago, and has just had a lot of ups and downs. He's in a competition right now to win his dream motorcycle. And my buddy really wants to win this bike. So if you would please check out the link in the description of this video, you can click on it and vote for Billy. I wanted to read to you a little bit this morning from Climbing the Vine of My Soul. This is from the very beginning of the book, where I'm talking about some of my motivations for my trip to the Amazon basin to study with a shamanic village and do an ayahuasca journey. So this is called Pilate of Pilate. I was made in Detroit by the unlikely collaboration of a fallen nun and a preacher's son. When I was very young, I could recall a few times that my dad would load up the family into the car and take the 5-hour trek down to suburban Chicago for a weekend with Grandma and Grandpa. There I would spend most of my time just doing crafts with my effervescent grandma, while my stoic grandpa seldom looked up from the scripture he was studying, or maybe a new crossword puzzle that he would invariably decode like a crack cryptographer in what must have been record time. Sunday service at Grandpa's church was the highlight for me. Although I may not have grasped the message, I can remember being so proud and even somewhat awestruck by seeing my grandfather up on the pulpit, commanding the attention of his flock in a clear and eloquent speaking voice that he never needed to raise. It was strong and sure, and above all, soothing. It never faltered or wavered. It was absolutely magical, and so was he. The pure light of creation emanated from this man. I loved the experience, and my grandpa obviously had a huge influence on the man that I am and that which I aspire to be. I also vividly recall the Easter Sunday that he finally asked us to stop coming after my dad thought it would be funny to sign the church registry as Pontius Pilate. I'm still not sure how much of my father's derision for the practice of worship could be attributed to the overload of it while growing up, or how much might have been a byproduct of what I'm sure must have felt like a justifiable resentment towards his creator. Grandpa's laser-like dedication to his parochial studies made for an absent father who preferred commiserating with his God over father and son forays like circuses, fishing, or the unrealized backyard game of catch that to this day my father still laments. These feelings towards his own maker for this void of patriarchal companionship, married with the damage done over the course of the years of abuse that my mother had suffered at the hands of both her family and the trusted clergy who had kept her hidden away in an unreasonably strict Catholic boarding school, predictably left our family with a tangible deficit of spiritual clarity or moral compass. And with that, your humble narrator was set out on a lifelong exploration on the uncharted and unpredictable sea of life. I found myself searching for an unfathomable love and acceptance, which appears as strange to most as those rarely seen creatures that take refuge in the darkest parts of the deepest oceans. Without any charts or navigational tools, much like the fabled ancient mariner, I rely solely on the compass of my own experience to guide me safely to the shores of salvation. For it is there that the brightly burning fire of a love unending promises warmth for the weary traveler. Drifting from Satanism to baptism to Buddhism and finally arriving ubiquitously at nihilism, I began to feel that there was really not much meaning to any of these isms, and all the while I became more of an oddity to my earthly relations. Family members dismissed what they could not understand by asserting that my actions had to be the result of a mind addled by the use of some heavy, unnamed drug. It is this often misunderstood hunger that continues to propel me to sojourn into the very core of my own creation, where it still dares me to excavate a magnificence undiscovered. It is this singularly unique set of circumstances that called me to this place, so that I might lift the veil which separates the here and now from the ever after, to climb the vine of my eternal soul.